What is going on, everybody? How's your week going? Let's bring this down a little bit. How about in there somewhere? There we go. I will leave the music on until chat fills up. Well, fills up. It's a relative term at the Portable Gamer. The channel is growing. So, resetting. Yeah, you know what? I'll wait a few minutes and see how busy things get. But I think we may have to reset. I think we may. Because what's going on is, yeah, we got 12,000 liters here. What's going on is, so all this that we brought down, really a little disheartened about this. So all of this that we have right here, this is literally nothing. It's less than nothing because we put a ton of work into getting it here and it has no value. Absolutely none. I did figure out how to have a worker unload the pit to the bunker. And I think this was part of my confusion. See, I've always called these bunkers. I know they have several names, but I personally just refer to them as bunkers, right? In Cattle and Crops world, this is a silo. Okay, fair enough. And then this I refer to as a hopper, and they call this the bunker. Fair enough. So what had happened was we did let our grass, I'm going to get this open, we did let our grass grow until it turned sort of golden green. I think that was my first mistake. I don't think we're meant to, if we're cutting grass for silage, I don't think we're meant to let it become that color. And that's what we have in here. 500,000 liters of it. We put a ton of fertilizer into those fields. I put a ton of time into them getting the fertilizer just right. Just right. We had a big harvest, like 650,000 liters of this, whatever this is. It's grass, it's field grass, it's grass silage. I don't know. But here's what I figured out for the worker. If we want to unload the bunker, we start a task. Now I was trying to set a task up this way. I tried transport, I tried BGA filling, and then I kept doing this. Let's say we're going to have our driver, right? We're going to have our vehicle. I'll go through the way I was doing it just so you can see the difference. And we'll put our front loader on the front. We'll put our bucket on, right? I thought I was doing this just right. And then we say the bunker, and then we say the silo. And it says no valid implement. And I was really baffled by that. I could not figure out for the life of me. I mean, is this not what you want? All you got to do is this. That's it. You don't need to put a vehicle in. It seems a bit odd to me. And I wonder if we can now sell our front loader and our bucket because that's all we got them for is so that our worker could do this. But I don't think we need it. So every day, yeah. Let's just do it right now. We'll do it immediately. We don't need to do it recurring. So save that. They are going to do it immediately. Okay. BGA filling, not ready. We can X out of that. So if we look at the volume here, this is 397. And if we look over here, there's 30,000 in here. But there's not. Because whatever this is, whether it's grass or grass silage or who knows what, it has this does not recognize it, right? Wait. What? Now it does? All right. I did this many, many times and nothing came of it. All right. It could be because I've restarted. I don't know. But I had our worker unload this stuff multiple times and it never registered. Okay. But you can see over here, we're going to get 200 euro, a little bit less than 200 euro for this. Well, that is a bonus. Changes things a little bit, maybe. Because if we have our worker unload this every day at 30,000 liters, it's going to take about 2 weeks, and we're going to get a couple hundred euro per day. That's one reason I want to reset. So now this stuff that's in here, I guess we could have just dropped it directly in here. We didn't have to put it in there and compress it. We would have got less money, but we could have just put it right in here. Right? So I think there's a lot of things that I still have to figure out about this. This is going to take... Yeah, see? So it didn't do anything. So let's do it again. Because I don't think it's doing anything. That was what I saw before. I never looked at the menu that quickly. Let's try it again. Copy. We'll do it immediately. Let's see if they'll do it again. All right. Yep, it did fill it again. Okay, so let's go over here and watch. Because it says we're going to get 150 or 180 euro. But then it just processes through more or less instantly. And we don't get any digestate from it. I mean, if nothing else, it's an opportunity to get rid of what's in the clamp. But I don't think we're going to get any money for it. If we did it at 200 euro per load, if we had, say, 20, talking about 4 grand, I was calculating out like 100,000 for the year for all that grass. So that is one reason I want to reset. I need to get this pit emptied out. And also, we wasted a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money and fertilizer bringing this in, and it really has no value. I think we spent more on fertilizer than we'll get back from selling all of this. So that is one reason. Second reason is when we go look at our fields, I did harvest. I figured out how to use workers and how to get them to cart for us. But if we look at our fields here, of course, our fertilizer is zeroed out. We let this go down because I didn't know if the grass was going to grow again. Well, it's late October. It's cooler, but I don't see any snow, right? I think we may have kind of a year-round growing season here in Germany. And it was, yeah, this is the field that I harvested. And we got, I want to say about 25,000. Now, I used the Jaguar, and that made the field type that was in the trailer when it was all done was grass chaff, right? Whereas what we have over here, this is a mixture of grass, field grass, and grass silage. I don't think this is supposed to be in this trigger at all. That's the easiest way to describe it. But what we did have after it got macerated through the Jaguar was a field type that we could dump directly into here, and we got about $1,000 for it. So it's about $1,000 per trailer. €1,000 per trailer. Now, if we had fertilized, we would have, say, 10 trailers full for those 3 fields, but we didn't. And that means, going back here, we would have to, because this field is already grown, right? But it's got no fertilizer on it. I got 3/4 of a trailer from field 23. That means this one we might get 1.5 trailers. So that'd be about 1,500 euros. So you see what I'm getting at. We would need to spend a lot of money and a lot of time bringing those fields in, and we would really get nothing for them in the same way that we're getting nothing for what we've got here. So I'm thinking, because this is what we figured out. From day one, we figured out fertilizer, right? We got that dialed now. We figured out how to unload the bunker. Got that dialed. We figured out how to have workers cart for us, right? We figured out a lot of things, and it's like we spent $500,000 figuring them out. So we can have Asta continue to empty this pit out 30,000 liters at a time. Is that right? I want to say it's coming down 30,000. So that would be field 12. We'd have to fertilize those. Well, we'd have to cut them, mow them, and then we'd have to fertilize them. And we also have, of course, our other fields, 13, 14, and 15, right? These fields over here that are, right, they're just a mess with fertilizer. So I feel like we've made all our mistakes. Does it make sense to reset? And I think it does. I think it does. This was sort of a test profile. I wanted to figure things out. I would say that I have. Oh, as far as buying equipment, right? We bought the Zircon and the Sapphire. I don't know. I feel like next time around, there are a lot of things we could do differently. And I guess it's just time for this to be next time around. Does that make sense? Because I think we're too far upside down to ever really make any money. So let us go back to the main map. We don't need to save because we're just going to delete. And we're going to go back. Profiles and save games. Yeah, here we go. So this we can... Yep, we're going to create a new one. We're going to delete that. Okay, and this is us now. No map. Start, we'll have to pick a map, and I think we may have to pick difficulty as well, because we have €1,000,000 here. Isn't that a little heavy? Is that more than we... Yeah, we want career. Load map. All right. Yeah, let's just start again. I think that makes the most sense. I really did learn a lot from that first profile, but mistakes were made. A lot of mistakes were made. And I don't know if we can recover from them. Making money is going to be difficult enough. I just don't know if we can recover from that. All right, so we'll get rid of this. And yeah, we've got 500,000, not 1,000,000. So that works out. We didn't want 1,000,000. We wanted things to be a little more difficult than that. Okay, so first thing we need to do, we're going to buy one tractor. One tractor. And because we ran the MB track before, I love the MB track, but because we ran the MB track before, I was thinking this time around we would go with the Deutz-Fahr. It is more expensive. It's about 3 times the price. And I thought, let's do it, because we're going to be leasing all of our equipment. Really, like all of it. I don't think we're going to buy anything. So let's go ahead and buy this. All right, and let's put a little bumper on it. There we are. Buy that. And then we're going to buy some fields as well. And I think... So we did have good luck with... right up here. We did have good luck with these fields. So this would be 30. That'd be 110. That'd be about 150. So let's buy these 3. All right. Buy this one. And we'll buy field 23 is the one all the way down on the end. Now I can't find it. Oh no, because we already bought it. We need to buy field 12. All right. We got that one. And also we want field 13, 14, 15, and 16. Where are we at? 150 grand. Okay. So these are all the fields that we owned previously at various times, right? We owned these 4 to start with, and we sold them, and then we bought these 3 big ones. So now we once again own these fields. I do think I want to do grass again in these fields, and I do think I want to do arable in these fields, but I want to do wheat this time because it said spring barley when we started our profile, right? It said spring barley. I don't know if, not a typo, but these never change. So can we plant, I mean, it says here, although summer barley has a lower yield than winter barley, right? But then you never see winter barley. Is that something they're going to add later, or can we just plant this barley whenever? Because again, when we look at the calendar, we get rain and sun and that sort of thing, but we never really see any temperatures. So at the moment, hey, Liam, how you doing, brother? At the moment, I don't think we have temperature in game as far as frost damage or germination. So I think what that means is we can plant any crop we want anytime we want. I think. So that means we're going to plant wheat. And we also know we can buy bull slurry down at the harbor. Yeah, we can buy bull slurry down at the harbor. So I think this is the way to go. I do. I think this is going to work out for us. So let me see. If we look at our biggest field, we want to be at, for spring wheat, we want to be at 120, 95, 160. So we want 70, right? I gotta put a run button in. I've added a couple of controls, but I still don't have a run button, and I haven't seen a way that we can fast travel to the house. So we're gonna stroll over here and do some calculating. I thought about buying the broadcast spreader, but it's 50 grand to buy it, and it's like a couple €100 to rent it. We would have to rent it many, many, many times for it to be worth buying. Same with the big slurry spreader that we're going to use for our bull slurry. Yeah, I saw that, but I turned it off. I would prefer I would prefer that he walks. I just need to put a trigger in. I've just been kind of lazy about it. All right. So this is all that we've learned the first time we played through. And I have to say, I do feel pretty good about the things that we've learned. So spring wheat. So let's focus on 70. Getting our nitrogen, adding 70, getting it to 120. So if we go bull slurry, right? Bull slurry, and if put quite a bit of this down, what do we say we want? 70. 72, we'd go a little heavy. That will add 33 and 81. Let's see what that does to our other values, because I never want to go over, right? Can always add more if you're light, but if you go heavy. So we're at 20, so we've got 56 breathing room there and about 110. As long as this is less than 56 and 110, we're okay. Yes, definitely. All right, let us start with bull slurry. Very affordable. And yeah, let's do that. So we're going to do that, and okay, we'll do this. I'm going to tab one time. I don't tab too often, but I'm going to tab. All right, we're in here now. And where's our wee bumper? All right. Liam, I had to reset, brother. The damage was too severe. Yeah. Wow, how loud is that? First time around, we'll call that practice. We'll call that research, but I had to start again. There was no way we were going to dig out of that hole. Yeah. It was, we had 500,000 liters of, I don't know, something in the pit down at the BGA. I don't know that we ever would have been able to sell it for anything. I was putting it in the bunker at the BGA, and it was just cycling right through without giving us any money or digestate. I did figure out the worker, but we let our 3 big fields go with no fertilizer to see if they would grow again. They did, and now they had crop in them. We would have had to bring that crop out for really no value. We would have got just a few €100 per field for that grass that grew with no fertilizer. So yeah, I think this is the smart play. I hate to do it. I don't like to give up, but I think with what happened with our first fields, the small fields that I screwed up the fertilizer on, and then figuring out, yeah, it was not good. It was not good. All right. And what do we need? We need to lease this thing. We need to lease this thing. And I think I'm going to go, because it's morning, I think I'm going to go a little longer. I think I'm going to go 12 hours. Right? 12 hours. We're going to rent that. We're going to rent that. Okay. And let's get this picked up. I was still thinking in terms of, I guess, farm sim. And it's not that I expected to get rich from silage, but I thought we would at least break even. And as it stood, we would have spent more money on fertilizer than we did for all the grass that was in that pit. It just seemed, I don't know, not the best way to do it. All right, let's go get filled up, and I'm going to duck back into the fertilizer calculator one more time on the way past because we'll have to go through the farm. We'll go through one more time and just confirm everything, confirm all our calculations, and then I also want to rent the little Claas and a broadcast spreader and have a worker start fertilizing the 4 small fields. So that'd be 16, 13, 14, and 15. So yeah, we're just going to start over and try to... The game is going to be difficult enough, I think, without me... I don't know. Work in progress. But I did figure out the workers. The trick was, and what I figured out is you have to assign yourself as part of the team. I think that's what the worker ultimately attaches itself to, is not necessarily the combine harvester, but the person driving the combine harvester, whether it's you as a player or whether it is an AI. Yeah. 286,000 liters of maize. 10 grand. I mean, I feel like the game is balanced. I've said that from the beginning. I do feel like the game is balanced. But I also feel like there are times in simulation gaming where you need to kind of fudge things a little bit. You need to make things unrealistic, like in a literal sense. It is technically unrealistic, but by being unrealistic, it makes the game more playable. I think that's, we all have to make exceptions. I remember talking about this with somebody on some type of, online forum, and we were kind of going back and forth. It wasn't heated, but, we both felt strongly about it. And he kept saying that Farming Simulator was realistic. And I was saying it's sort of realistic, but not entirely. And he asked me what the developers could do to make it more realistic, and I told him, if you go bankrupt in game, your serial number invalidates and you can't play anymore. Because that's what happens in real life when you go bankrupt. You're done. So there are plenty of exceptions in gaming. As realistic as a game may be, there are plenty of exceptions. Yeah, exactly. I feel like there has to be balance in the game, but it might not always be, it might not always be letter perfect to current EU prices. I know people in Farm Sim have pointed out that you can buy and sell a hay bale in real life for like €25, 25 pounds. And when Seasons first came out for 17, I want to say the straw bales were unbalanced for the first release of Seasons. But you could make 100 grand with one trailer of straw bales. Not realistic at all. All right. So we are going to roll up to the farm. We're going to get started. And you know what? I can even do it now because No, I can't do it now. I need to be at the fertilizer calculator to do it. All right, Liam, I'll probably be here. We'll go 2 or 3 hours today. I was going to do Euro Truck, but I feel like I need to make amends for yesterday's stream, so we'll be here for a while. Take your time, brother. No hurry. All right, so we will head back up the hill, and you know, I had wheat on my mind. I had wheat on my mind and was thinking those 3 big fields would be wheat, but they're not. They're going to be grass. We want to try grass for silage again. Cut it when it's green, and we want to put up some grass for hay, because we are going to get into animals. And we may not do that this season, this year, but I do want to get into animals as well. And we'll need hay for them. All right, so back to the farm. And you know what? Something else that I thought of. I figured this out at some point. A couple of streams back, I figured this out, but we're going to try it again right now. And the only thing that's tricky about this is you can't always tell what piece of equipment is what. So if we want to transfer bull slurry from the harbor to our tank up at the farm, so we're not making this trip all the way back and forth, right? Because we figured out we can do that. Have it brought up to the farm by a worker. But we need to use one of those tanks to do it. And if we rent one, I don't know how we'll know the difference between the one that we rented and the one that we have on the tractor right now. Well, they'll both be rented, but you know what I mean. I don't know how we'll know the difference between the one that we have hooked up and the one that is still down at the equipment dealer. We'll figure it out. Yep, I'm feeling a lot better about this. I really am. And I think, like I said, the game is going to be difficult enough as it is without us sort of handicapping ourselves by making a lot of mistakes. So this profile that we just restarted, even without the mistakes, I think it's going to be tricky. All right, let's pull right in here. And how do we want to do this? Well, first thing we want to do is let's pull up closer to the door so we don't have to walk all the way across the yard. I know it's not that far. And do we need fuel? Yeah, we could get fuel. All right. Get that going. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. All right. So let's get this going first. Before we do our fertilizer calculations, let's get this going. We're going to, you know what, I'll do it from in here because my character has a habit of walking off. So we need to lease. I mean, I guess we'll go with the big ones. Oof. Gotta be careful with the money. We're going to rent that. And then we need another one of these. I'm going to try to lease this for 14 hours. Because the one that we just leased, we got for 12 hours. Maybe if we lease it for a different amount of time, we'll be able to spot it that way. So we need to go there and do that. We need to go here. Let's hire Klaus. I don't get it. 24. So is that per hour? Is it per month? I don't know. Employment. All right. You're hired. So now if we go here, task, transport, driver, right? It's Klaus. So if we want to go here, what's the difference? Right? I mean, how do we know? Right? Like, what's the difference between these two? Because if we tell him to take the wrong one, how do we? If we cancel out of this, it's going to take us all the way back. Is there a way to spot them? Like if we go to our fleet, does it have a number on it? Okay, we're number 68. Okay, so it does have an identifier. We are number 68. All right, good to know. So transport, Klaus. All right, select 71, save, add a station, location, harbor, slurry pump, load bull slurry, 18,000 liters, add station, and it is right, recurring route. Until amount. There was 150,000 down there. We took 18,000. That leaves 132,000. 132,000. There we go. He's going to start that. And we will go get started on that field. When he's done transporting that, then we're going to send him to work on spreading pellet fert in the 4 small fields, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay. It's making sense. So we're going to come in here. The only thing we need to do is swap this out and confirm our amount here. We need to go here. Fields. Fields that we own. It's going to be field 12. Field grass. 50 to 215 is 65. Okay. $50 to 215 is 165. Double check that. Measure once, cut twice. Field grass. 50 to 215, 165. That's 163. We go any higher than that? 168. Let's go 163. And then this is going to take that up by 70. Is that going to be okay? I think it is, because it's going to go from 20 yeah, it goes up by 70, so that'll be okay. Goes up by 74, so that'll take it to 94. And then this other one is going to go up by 183. And what does that do? 183 on 50 will be 183 on 50 will be about 330. So we'll still be 60 light on potassium, but we won't go over. Okay. All right. And what's our volume? 34,000. And if we can't go 34,000, we'll go like 17,000 twice. And how's our worker doing? Our worker's down there filling up. Beautiful. All right. This makes more sense. I really think it does. I hate to do it, but it's the smart play. All right. Before we forget, let's go here and here. And can we go 34,000? We can go 35,000. I think that'll be okay. I think that'll be okay. We're going to go through this stuff so fast, though. All right, here we go. And hopefully by the time we're done, because it's going to take just a minute to get set up, hopefully by the time we're done, Klaus will have come back up the hill and unloaded another tank for us. I do need to figure out how often this recycles, because at the moment it says there's 150,000 down there. I don't know when that 150,000 replenishes. I don't know if that's like a one-time deal, right? Or if that's just like a placeholder number. Unknown. All right. Sliding. A little bit of sliding. Come on now. There we go. All right. So we'll bring this up. width is correct, we want to rotate just a bit. Just about right there. Okay, I think we're good. We will need to back up. And over this way. Four-wheel drive. There we go. Four-wheel drive is on. X out of that. Open that. The sliding. I could do without. There we go. All right, we are unfolded. We want to lift that. Let's double check our flow one last time. 35,000. Yep, that's right. I hope that's right. All right, and we are on. Yep. Lower that. We are spreading. Okay, here we go. I don't know how long this tank is going to last with that flow turned up as high as it is. It looks like... Where's our guy? Yep, our guy's coming up the driveway right now. So hopefully he gets up there and gets unloaded before we're done, and we can just go pick up another tank of this stuff. All right. Not the ideal setting, but I think this makes sense. Wow, we are just like burning through this stuff. I don't even know if we're going to get a whole row done here. Yeah, we will, but just barely. We're going to be making a lot of trips up the hill. I think that's going to be beneficial to us to have Klaus ferrying that stuff up to the farm. I think it's going to save us a lot of time instead of driving all the way down there. I was waiting for there to be a tanker. It didn't even, right? It didn't even occur to me that we could use the equipment that we already have to make that happen. All right, so we'll lift that, come off guidance steering. Let's flip around here. All right. Back on the cruise control. Lower that. Yeah, and we'll get like half a length. And it looks like yep, I think he just got done unloading. Yep, there he is, on top of the hill. Oh, it's so cool seeing vehicles moving around the farm. I love it. Even with him doing that, this is going to be maybe not quite tedious, but it's going to take some doing to get this done. That's the whole point of a farm sim, right? You would think. All right, so we're dry, so we're going to lift that, turn the pump off, fold that, come off that, get rid of that. And as long as we leave the field guidance in place, we can just come back and drive right back through our own tire tracks. All right, and where is... Yep, there's our turn. Okay, let's hope he got this right. I think he did. Let's find out. Now, here's the next question. If we run out of this stuff before we're done, then what do we do? There you go. He's unloading right now. think... we'll take a look on the blue menu. We could have done another task and let him bring all this up before we started, but didn't think to do that. We want to go here. All right. Just like real farming. A lot of waiting. Deckers, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. How's Wednesday treating you? You know what we could have done? Well, it's a little bit too late right now. If I knew that this is what was happening, I thought he was done. When we saw him move left to right, up above the field, I thought he had already unloaded and was heading back. If I knew he hadn't unloaded yet, we could have gone down to the harbor and picked up another load while he was unloading and let him get like one cycle ahead of us instead of where we are now, where we're sort of right behind. We can do that next time, though. 1,000, and I don't think this has a... Yeah, I don't think it has a volume. It says, when you're down there loading up, it says like X of 150,000. So we'll see if the trader runs out. And again, I don't know if that's a daily thing and it recycles at midnight. Oh, well, that's cool, Deckers. I appreciate that, man. That's why I do it. If the bull slurry at the harbor replenishes like every night at midnight or something, then we can just do 11 and 23. We'll do the same deal tomorrow. If it does not, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I say that a lot when I'm playing this game. We'll figure it out. All right. Set the brake. Let's load up. What I can tell you, though, is compared to our last save game, from the minute that I started this one, I've felt a lot more clarity about what our goals are and what it is that we're trying to do. So, a lot more confident this time around. Oh, man. Who downvoted? That's not cool. Oh, my goodness. I don't understand people, man. I just don't get it. If you're going to drop a downvote, tell me why. How else can I fix things if I don't know what's broken? All right, we are loaded up. Let's head down there. Here we go. And what's the easiest way to do this? We could start at this end and just drive to, yeah. Well, you can see it really clearly from up here. Once you get down at the level of the field, it's a lot harder to see where you've already sprayed. Let's just drive. Yeah, I guess that fits. Let's just head over this way. We'll get field guidance back on. Here, and I can see on the mini map where we need to turn around, and we can be unfolding while that's going on. All right, we're gonna make our turn right about here. Now, I have a question about this as well, because all this driving around that we're doing on this field, is this like really bad as far as compaction? Do we want to, because if we plant this with the sapphire again, we can use the, hang on, if we go with the, there we are. Oh, little hot spot right there. Ignore that. If we go with the Lemkin Sapphire again, then we've got Power Harrow in front of it with the Zircon. So that would sort of take care of all these tire tracks, would it not? I don't know. I just feel like we should go in and sort of fix this after we drive all over the field, particularly if we're going to be driving back and forth to finish up like half rows and going up the hill to refill. All right. So we'll lift that, come off field guidance, get flipped around here. All right, right there. And then drop that. And where's our guy at? Our guy is, it looks like he's refilling. Oh, yeah, we'll drive down to the harbor. When we're done with this pass, we'll drive down to the harbor and refill ourselves and let him sort of get a bit ahead of us. I also want to see what the volume is down there and see if this is going to like exhaust itself, right? If we're going to run out of bull slurry. All right, and we might make it to the end of the row. We may. I think that little bit of overlap is going to be the difference. Without that, we'd make. Yeah, I think we'll make it. I just hate to go back and pick up a row in the center of a field. Maybe. No, not quite. So let's just make a right out of here and go all the way around. All right, so we'll lift, turn off, fold, come off field guidance, get rid of this. I'll fold it up back there. Here we go. And this will give Klaus an opportunity to sort of cycle through, and I would prefer to be one or two tanks behind him so that we can always just go up the hill and refill. And when you hire a worker, do they have access to fill types that are in the game, or do they have to be on the map? Right, so let's say we tell Klaus to spread bull slurry on field 11 and 23, and there isn't any down at the harbor. Would he still be able to do that, or would it say like no field type available or something? I guess we can just take a look and see. I'm going to pop the map open. There, yep, he's on his way back up. Okay. So it'll take us a minute to get down there and get all cycled through. And hopefully that'll be enough time. And I also want to... I don't think we need to buy a trailer again. I don't think we need to buy anything again. Other than this tractor that we own, I don't think we're going to buy anything. We're going to lease. But if we lease the little trailer, the 18,000 liter trailer, I would like to have our guy bring up 15,000 liters of 2010-10 and 15,000 liters of K60. Same thing. Once we have it up at the farm, we save a lot of trips down to the co-op. And I feel like that is the fertilizer we're going to use the most of throughout our career, so there's no harm in having plenty of it at the farm. And if I wasn't... Oh, there he goes. He's behind the mirror now. There he is. If I wasn't a good, responsible citizen, I would just cut right through the grass right here instead of looping all the way around. So it goes. Yeah, we'll just go till this is... either till this field is done or till that tank is empty. And then, I don't know. I don't want to hire a second worker. I do want to be a little bit careful with the money. But after he's done, when there's nothing left from the harbor slurry trader, then with that same tractor, I want to put him on broadcast spreader and have him work on 13, 14, 15, and 16. Been playing a lot of ETS, and I'm up in Scandinavia right now. It seems like there are ports everywhere. Seeing all these little cargo facilities and cranes and stuff reminds me of that. All right. Right about there. Yeah, it says there's 96,000 liters left. What happens when this thing runs out? When this facility runs out? We'll see. Figure it out. All right, let's pivot out here. I'm going to have some coffee. Where's our guy at? Yep, looks like he is unloading now. Perfect. Perfect. And we've still got... we've done maybe a quarter of that field. This may be enough to do the whole thing. If it's not, I don't know. We'll see if this tank refills at midnight. Do the rest of it tomorrow. And I think we'll end up doing not just 13, 14, 15, and 16, but also 11 and 23. We're going to have to do those with chemical fert. I don't know. Well, if this thing recycles and refills at midnight, then we'll be okay. If it does not, I think we'll have to go chemical. All right, back up the hill. Where's our guy? Yep, still unloading. We'll need to figure out, having started again, right, being in this new profile, we're going to have to figure out what kind of money we make, and let's sort of, I don't know, we'll look backwards to that previous profile where we were completely upside down, and based on the amount of money that we make in this profile, hopefully without any mistakes, I think we can compare that to that other profile and just get a feeling for whether we ever would have been able to dig ourselves out of debt. I mean, I think in time we would have, but I don't know that I would have wanted to spend, I don't know, weeks just being completely broke. Swing out here to give the AI room. There we go. And then we'll take a look. Look at traffic. Okay. Now, if I time this exactly wrong, and I hope I save game, if I time this exactly wrong, so there's 18,000 liters in the tank right up there. We have 18,000 liters. And Ernst is going down. Klaus is going down to refill, right? So ideally we can get up here and get refilled from this tank right over here before he gets here. If we do not, we might end up sitting behind him again. But so it goes. All right. Yeah, we're making some progress. It's a big field. It's one of the biggest fields on the map. So I do think it's going to be... It's going to take some time to get through it, but we will. All right. So before we get started, we'll unfold. Let's get this going. All right. Get that going. We will. All right. And I want to be extra careful that the pump is not on and we don't double spray this whole length. Nope, we're good. All right, here we go. We're not on field guidance at the moment. I'm just manually trying to keep it lined up. All right, and we're not going to double up this time. So we'll come right in here, or thereabouts. Right about there. Lower. Turn the pump on. There we go. Yep, no overlap that time. All right. Careful around this tree with our boom. Close. Oh, a little too far. There's that. There's that. Okay. And once again, we're rolling. Maybe. With what's down there in the tank at the harbor, maybe we get this whole field done. Now, if we do, we had to pay the lease for the equipment. But if we do, it's the price of bull slurry compared to chemical fertilizer, it's like nothing. So even though we did spend some money to lease equipment, I think we will hopefully have a net positive. It is going quick, though. Maybe. Coin toss. I think we're going to miss it by 1 or 2 lengths. But we'll get a ton of it done. All right. With that, come off field guidance. We'll go up and around this tree. Careful as always with the booms. Here we go. Lower that. And yep, our guy is down at the harbor right now. So as long as we get up to... Oh, he's just on the move right now. I think we'll be okay, though, because we're nearly dry. So we'll just flip around and head up to the farm. Start refilling that tank. And yeah, we'll be there before he is. Okay. Perfect. Lift that. Pump off. Fold that. And for the moment, I'm going to leave field guidance on. Just because I really do want to get there before him. So I don't even want to slow down to turn that off. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll beat him easily, but for this to work, for this cycle to be efficient, we need to get up there and start loading up before he... What? I thought I turned that off. We need to get up there and get loading before he arrives and starts unloading. There we go. It's that flute song. Moment, please. You can't unlike songs on Spotify. It drives me crazy. I don't know why, of all the music that I have available, it plays this ridiculous flute song constantly. Random. Doesn't seem very random to me. All right, here we go. All right, right through there. Yep. That works. Okay. Start loading up. And then we can get rid of this momentarily. We'll turn it back on, of course, when we get back down there, but for now we can turn it off. All right, that works. There's our guy coming up the driveway. Just trying to do some head math as far as what we've brought up so far from the harbor versus what's still down there. I think we were about 40%. I think I'd say we're half right now. We've probably gone through about 75,000 liters total between what we've sprayed and what Klaus is bringing up here. And I don't know that we're halfway across the field yet, so it's going to be close. I mean, it's got a little bit of a taper on the western side. The lengths are a little bit, they're not as long, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, perfect timing. There's him. I think our cycle is going faster than his cycle, though, unfortunately. So we may drive down to the harbor and refill after we're done applying this. All right. We'll hop back in first person. Yeah, it was really weird to see that filling the bunker doesn't require a vehicle. And I don't know if you need to own the vehicle and the front loader and the bucket. It just doesn't require you to assign it, or whether you just tell a worker to do that. I don't know. It seems it's one of the few things about this game so far that I've come across that seems sort of half-assed. You know, it doesn't seem fully. It's like they just kind of papered over a solution, but it doesn't seem like it's really. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be more comprehensive later, but at the moment it seems a little half-assed. All right, we want to go this one. Yep. So we'll start unfolding. All right. Get this turned on. Get that turned on. Those up. Confirm we're not spraying. We are not. Okay. It's really hard to spot where to pick up our spray pattern again. Let's say right about there. Yeah, missed a little bit. All right, and our guy is unloading at the moment. Perfect. So we got, for those 4 small fields by the farm, 13, 14, 15, 16, our first year, I think we got 10 grand for the barley that we brought out of those fields. We didn't have a very good yield, and barley doesn't have a very good price. So I think we didn't do badly. And those fields are pretty small. I just feel like we could have done better. So, I don't know. I'm still learning this game. There is definitely a lot to learn. And in the same way that... Alright, so we're going to come off here. Let's... I don't think we can get around that tree, so let's go this way. In the same way that Train Sim World 2, it's a good game. I like it. I play it. But it's got some... I'm reluctant to call them bugs, but it's got some things in the game, some quirks that require you to sort of, I don't know, get used to them, anticipate them. Maybe that's a good way to say it. Drop that, and we're spraying. There are things in the game that you sort of need to compensate for and work around. They're maybe something that the devs will be able to fix later. So I don't know when or if we will come across things in this game that, when we say we're learning the game, that we're also learning the things in the game that are bugged out, for lack of a better word, that we need to sort of adjust for or compensate for. And at the moment, I haven't come across too many things like that. I mean, nothing to mention. It was realizing that I had to assign myself if we wanted a worker to bring a cart over to, we were using a forage harvester rather than a combine harvester. But if you want a worker to bring a cart to a harvester that you're driving, you have to assign yourself as a worker. It's not entirely intuitive. Eventually I figured it out, but it wasn't straight away obvious that was the fix. Turn that off, fold those, come off there. Fried, how you doing? Get rid of that. Whoops. Get rid of that, and then get rid of that. So it could be there are some things that are needing improvement, and we'll just figure out workarounds for those things. All right. And he did. He did just unload. You know what? There's not a lot more to bring up. Well, no. Let's be smart. We'll stick to the plan. Let's let him cycle through one more time. So again, we're not constantly sitting behind him, waiting for him to unload. Go down this way. Yeah, he's down at the harbor right now. Oh, that's fantastic, Fried. Congratulations. Glad to hear it. Carefully. Try to stay on the road here. All right. Save game. Traffic. We're good. And I guess this works out in a way as well because we can see what volume the harbor dealer has left. Now, since the game has 365 days in a year, I think we can... yeah, let's do this. After we're done with all of the bull slurry that's available at the harbor, let's do some pellet fert on these fields. And then let us skip to tomorrow to see if that resets. And there's another 150,000 for us to bring up here. We'll have to lease this equipment again, which is kind of spendy. But we recover some of that because the fertilizer itself is so affordable. Okay, we'll figure it out. You know, I'm getting the hang of it, Fried. It, uh, I made a lot of mistakes. I really did, and I think there are some things in the game that even though you did go through the tutorials maybe gave you an overview of the fact that that particular function is in the game and does work, but it wasn't necessarily specific about how it works or how you use it. So there's a bunch of missions that we can do as well. I think those may be the equivalent of like contract jobs in Farm Sim, where you sort of make money without a lot of risk, and there's also a lot of guidance. We haven't done any of those. We just did the 50 tutorials and the 5 scenarios, 10 scenarios, whatever it was. We did all the stuff we needed to do to unlock equipment, but I haven't done any of the missions. So I've just been sort of making mistakes, trial and error, you know. And I say we, you didn't do anything. I made some really big mistakes in that first save game. Missions are Bubbed. You know what? Let me pull up here. As soon as Klaus pulls out, let me get started loading up and I'll show you. Or I can show you right now. Stop here. So if you go to the calendar, quests. Here we go. All quests. Where are they? All quests. There we go. So there's this one. Welcome to your farm. So you accept this, and when you do this one, I believe it opens the next one. Yeah. Do this, it opens the next one, and there are also yeah. Is that right? Because they're up here. Is it not? I think you can see them. Let's just open one. We'll get this filling and then we'll open one. So go right here, set the brake. So we'll start this. And I think, yeah, this will work out because we have to go that way anyway. If we go to quests, welcome to the farm. So we accept this. Guided tour of the most important buildings. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this and we'll let our worker keep working. All right. I am ready. Go to the pasture. I think our guy is going to get done unloading and head back down there and get stuck on us. All right. All right. I'm just going to run through this as quick as I can so we can get back down there and keep driving. The Kronkenbox. That doesn't sound good. Leave the barn via the right barn door. You got it. Fertilizer tank. There we go. Slurry bunker. Go to the seed pallets. Those are over here. And this may, we may be in like suspended time right now. Nothing is moving in our save game until we get done with this. Silage, silos, those are over here. Right. You know, I tried to sell silage at the Harbor Silage Trader, and it just disappeared through the ground. I didn't get any money for it. So I don't know if that's something, because you can't send a worker down there. Oh, I hear him. There's Ernst. Okay, so time is not suspended. Time is still moving. We need to get done with this quickly because he's going to unload and head back down. We need to hop into the other. All right. Hop into the other tractor and get that out of the way so he can load up down there. All right. Up here. All right. Back down here. Diesel. Oh, power washer. All right. There's that. Machine haul. That's over here. Workshop. I didn't know we had a workshop. What's this all about? I didn't even know this was here. Oh, okay. It doesn't do anything. Just a place to park. Go to your PC. Fertilizer calculator. Yep. Bedroom. Sleep. I don't really want to sleep. Okay. All right. So now, let me see if we have other missions available now. Other quests available. All completed. All. Are there not more? I thought there was a whole slew of them, Leon. I do apologize. Let's tab down to this thing. And there's 38,000 left, so there's about 2 tanks left. All right. I'll have to take a look. I thought there were more than that. I remember seeing a big stack of them pop up, all the things that I could be doing. So I'll have to take a look. I may be in the wrong menu, but... And I remember that from the early access as well, that there were a lot of things that you could do for XP. I don't know what you do with the XP, though. What's the XP for? Wait a minute. Oh, hang on. We gotta loop around. I've noticed in Cattle and Crops that vehicles will not continue loading if you step outside of them. You have to be inside a vehicle. Like we were pumping slurry into our tank from the storage, and when we tabbed out and did that quest, it stopped loading. So we got to loop back around here and finish filling this thing. Glad I saw that before we drove up the hill. Driving a little bit fast and reckless right now. I admit it. All right. Set the brake. Let's get loaded. And I think, yeah, we can take a look here and see what's available. There should be 39,000 liters at the farm. 36,000. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Because we have an 18,000 liter tank. So, yeah, 36,000 liters available. So we can fill up twice at the farm. And when we leave here, there'll be like 1.5 more tanks left down here for Klaus to bring up the hill. All right. I don't know if we'll get Field 23 done today. We may. Not 23. What's the big one we're working at? 12. I don't know if we'll get 12 done today. Let's see how we do. All right, and it's a little bit narrow right here. I think I'm going to wait for our guy to come through because just as soon as you make this turn, it's almost like a single lane here. Just for a bit. Where's our guy at? He's right there. Let's wait for him to come past. There he is. All right, here we go. Very accommodating traffic in Albertal. They definitely make room for you. Save game. All right. And I'm going to take a look on the map here. Yep. All right. And we want to go down around here somewhere. I haven't seen a lot of mods either, Fried. 4 maybe? 5 good ones. I mean, there's some sort of hokey ones. But as far as good ones on Mod Hoster, I've only seen 4 or 5. I think because of how difficult it is to make mods, it's going to be a long time before we really see any. All right. There we go. All right. And right there. And we'll be very careful to lift before we overlap here. Right about there. Perfect. All right. So we'll come over here now. There we are. And then lower. And we're spraying. Yeah, Fried. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm impressed with the game. I hope the devs are successful. But I do wonder what kind of legs this game has. Right? Because when you think about how spoiled we are with video games in 2020, as far as DLC and expansion packs and new things constantly being added, whether they're free or whether we have to pay for them, I feel like developers know games do get played out after a certain number of hours. And even look at SCS, and SCS is my example for a lot of things, because Truck Simulator, both on the ATS side and the ETS side, it's a relatively small game. In some ways, it's not a very good game. It doesn't look great, and it's not super well optimized, but it's an incredibly popular game, and it's a beloved game. It's got a huge fan base, and people really, really love it. And it's one of those, do people love it because SCS really takes care of their fans, or do their fans love Truck Sim because SCS really takes care of them? I don't know who started it, but I know, like, we're getting a new truck for ATS. We're getting the Freightliner, and it's going to be free. It's not a DLC. You don't have to buy it. You just get it as part of the game. And that is something that SCS seems to understand, that as beloved as that game is, you've still got to give people something. Games get played out. And with one map and the limited equipment that we have right now, and even yesterday when I was playing, trying to figure out what fill type goes in what trailer, there's only like 3 trailers. And for some of them to take certain crops and others to not take other crops, it was not quite frustrating, but it's like, oh, come on, man. Really? And yet that's all we've got. Those are the only trailers we've got. So I am concerned that the game does not really have a lot of playability. And that's not even replayability. That's just playability. Look at something like I just got Elite Dangerous. Just got it free from Epic Game Store. I know that game has a ton of not just playability, but replayability. You play that game forever. There are other games where they may not have replayability, but the first time you play through them, it's great fun. And some games don't even have that. So ideally, I think you want that replayability, but at the very least, you want the game to be playable from start to finish, right? You want the game playable from tutorial to a reasonable conclusion, a reasonable end game. And if you never pick it up again, fine. But you got your $40 worth of entertainment or whatever. Games like this, I feel like they need to not just be playable, they need to be replayable. And with the very limited amount of content that this game has at the moment, I am concerned. Because I could see myself getting played out on this game maybe another month or so. Particularly if it's grindy. If there aren't a lot of big payoffs, if there aren't a lot of sort of satisfying moments where we make a lot of money or get up to a level where we can buy another piece of equipment, I feel like this game could get played out. And how developers decide what engine they're going to build their game on, I think there's a lot of factors in there. But for a farm simulator to be built on an engine that is not mod friendly, I think is a massive error on the part of the developers. I mean, you've got to know who you're competing against. Everybody knows this game is competing against the Farm Simulator franchise. And that is an extremely modded and extremely moddable title. So how you could make a game to compete with that and not make it easily moddable that's concerning to me. I do wonder. I wouldn't say I'm regretting my purchase, but I'm curious to see where it all goes. And I'm still enjoying it at the moment, definitely. But where we'll be in a month or 6 weeks, that's a different kind of thing. I don't see any mods coming for this game soon, honestly. If you have to license C4, and every time I say this, I tell the chat, if I'm wrong, let me know. But I tried to look into modding for this game. I just wanted to color a tractor. And it seems like if you want to make a mod for this game, you have to license C4 Tombstone to yourself. There is no other technology to unpack TEX files. So, yeah, I think that's going to scare a lot of people off. Because, and it's not the technical aspect of it. It's just the idea that you're going to spend several $100s to make mods. I don't know. It just doesn't seem fully thought through. I know there was supposed to be mod support early days, and I don't know what happened to that. I know some things had to get left out of full retail, right? Like multiplayer is not in the game at the moment. Things that will be added later, I have no doubt. But I heard mod support from day one, and I feel like we're not seeing that. So if it comes down to that, there are a lot of reasons why any business and a video game franchise, a video game title is a business of sorts. There's a lot of reasons why a business can fail. And I would be curious if this game fails because the limited amount of content, people just get played out on the game. Overcord, how you doing? How's Wednesday treating you? And I do see that happening, unless I don't want to sound too grim about it. I don't want to sound dire, but unless something sort of miraculous happens and a lot of mods appear in the next, say, 6 to 8 weeks, I do think the game is going to get played out. And the idea of, grinding fertilizer spreading. Good. Being busy is good. Taking breaks is good. I'm a big fan of both. The idea that we're grinding to spread fertilizer and we're doing that for a few €1,000 per month, I think that could, I've played some grindy games. I've played some Ubisoft titles that are really grindy, and it's possible when you're grinding in a game to sort of come to your senses, to ask yourself, like, what the hell am I doing here, man? I could be playing a game that I really enjoy rather than grinding for imaginary trophies. And, to be fair, all video game trophies are imaginary. It's just pixels. It's just, none of this is real. But if a game is designed properly, the accomplishments that we achieve in game, even though they're fake, even though they're not really real, they still, we get that little burst of dopamine and we feel good. We're enjoying ourselves. And there are other accomplishments that, it's like, really, I did all that for this? I'm going to go play something else. I'm going to go play another game. Yeah, and that's business. That's business. And that is, I'm in marketing. So I am well aware of the fact that if you want to get people's attention, you need to sort of make big promises. And the problem with big promises is people then expect those promises to be realized. So if you make big promises, you have to deliver at some point. And if you don't, people get very, sometimes they get very angry. Sometimes they just get disappointed and move on. They just walk away from you. So there is a balance. You do have to hype your product, your service, whatever it is. You do have to hype your brand. But be mindful when you're hyping your brand that you're not setting impossible expectations that you'll never be able to come close to. I talk to my clients a lot about expectation management. You need to be extraordinary, but you also need to be realistic. And when those two things collide, if you were to go to E3 and say, "Yeah, we're building a game, we're going to release it," probably we might not ever get it done, and if we do, it might not be that good. Nobody's going to be interested in that. Nobody's going to care about that. But if you go the Bethesda route, right? If you go the Anthem route and hype a game to the ends of the earth and then it doesn't deliver, right? Then it's nobody's happy. You stop that right there. I'm concerned about Star Citizen. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Is it going to be as good as everybody says? Is it going to be any good at all? Cyberpunk. Neither one of those titles are anything that I'm interested in necessarily buying or playing, but I'm really, really curious how they sort of respond, right? What the market is going to do when those games are released. Yeah, and I don't want to make this into like a marketing clinic, but something else that I tell my clients a lot is don't market to yourself. Don't make a product that appeals to yourself. Make a product that appeals to people that are going to buy it. And if there is a contingent of farm sim fans that do want the 3D field dynamics and do want the mud physics and do want the crop chemistry and a lot of other things. And I'm not suggesting that everybody dumb their product down to be exactly like everybody else's product, right? Yeah, you don't if there's something that you feel very strongly about, whether it's a video game or recording music or making a film or painting a portrait, whatever it is, you have to have that passion. There's no other reason you'll do it. Well, money, but if it's an unproven product, you don't even know if you're going to make money. Most people do things like this for passion. And the idea that you would maybe go out and test your product with some gamers and they would say, yeah, we don't care about mud physics. Well, that was a really big part of what it is we wanted to do. Oh, right on. Yeah, I think Cyberpunk's going to be amazing. I do. From what I've seen of it so far, it's going to be something. But what the hell was I complaining about? Oh, right. Uh, Passion. You don't want to dumb your product down, right? If you have a great idea for a really accurate farming simulator and you speak to gamers and you test it out a little bit and they say, yeah, we don't care about any of that stuff. Just just make it like Farm Sim. Well, no, man. You don't want to dilute your brand. You don't want to make something really bland and generic. You want to make something that you know can be extraordinary. But at the same time, you have to make something that people are going to want to buy. So, you mentioned the mud physics. If it was a question of, putting a lot of time and money into mud physics or putting a lot of time and money into having maybe more variety of equipment, in hindsight, I think they could have cut some corners on the mud physics and maybe had a little bit more depth to the map or had a second map or something. So I don't I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen their internal research on what they're planning or where they think that the game is going to go. And the other thing is you don't really know this stuff until you start into it. You can't know what you don't know until you don't know it. So it could be that the mud physics they thought that was going to be a fairly simple thing and it ended up consuming all of their budget, or just the opposite. They thought modeling the vehicles would be relatively quick and they planned on having a much bigger fleet when they went full retail release. And it turns out modeling vehicles is a time toilet and they were only able to get done what we have here. Yeah, exactly. It's second guessing. I don't know. I haven't seen the internal operation of their organization. I don't know. I mean, the clients that I've worked with have absolutely run the gamut from really solid, intelligent people that were trying to do something very difficult to uh, greedy idiots who were struggling and having a lot of problems because they were greedy idiots. All they cared about was money, and they weren't even really smart enough to get it. So, and that's business, because business is just people, right? Every business in the world is just run by people, and people are goofy. They really are. They're non-linear. They're random. They can be amazing, and they can be really really dumb. And I include myself in that category as well. So who knows? Who knows? I want the game to succeed. And I got Firefighting Simulator the other day. I was looking forward to Firefighting Simulator since I saw the first post. They had a tech demo, and you could walk around a fire truck in a garage. It looked like Forza. It really did. Hang on, that's a long chat. I got to stop to read that. Yeah, yep, I'm feeling the same thing. Uh, Firefighting simulator. Yep. The first time I saw the tech demo, you're walking around this really, really well rendered fire engine in a garage, and it looked like Forza, and they were talking about unlocking vehicles and customization, and I thought, oh, that is fantastic. I am all over that. Because who doesn't want to upgrade fire trucks, right? That sounds like a lot of fun. And it struck me as a Forza type model where you would have a basic piece of equipment and then you would upgrade it. And there are a lot of other sims that do it. It's not just Forza, but I guess Forza was the first and sort of the biggest one that I saw do it. Well, the game dropped 10 days ago, and it's not at all what it looked like. It's very different. And I had played it out in about I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It's just there's really nothing to it. And on top of that, we spraying. There we go. On top of that, I saw a chat. People were asking like, okay, now what do we do? Then what happens? Is there a roadmap? And the answer that I got, sort of from a developer chat, was yeah, no, there is no roadmap. What you see right now, that's it. We may release some hot fixes, but there's not a bunch of content coming for Firefighting Simulator. It's done. And it was $20. Not the end of the world, but I doubt I'll ever play that game again. And I really did look forward to it. And it sort of has some potential, but it sort of doesn't. Like, it's just done. I don't want this game to be like that. I would hope that there is more substance to Cattle and Crops, but no guarantees. You know, it could be that really this is all we ever get. And, you know, if that's the case, once I've played this game out, however many hours that's going to take, no promises on whether I would ever come back to it. You know, and I'm not. When I say that, I'm not down on the game at all. I'm just sort of generally describing how I feel about titles. If they don't have replayability, I tend to uninstall them and never really come back to them. I don't want that to be the case, but time will tell. All right, so there's that. We're going to lower, turn the pump on, and we are spraying. All right. Might get done. I think this will be enough to get us to the end of this row. And we've got, I would say 5 more lengths. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get done. So let's do this. Because one day is one day in this game. So there's no harm sleeping through the night. It's not like Seasons where a year is 24 days, and if you sleep through the night, you've advanced ahead like 30 days in real life. So we will drive up the hill. After we're done, after we've used up all the bull slurry that's available, we'll drive up the hill. We will sleep through the night and see if the harbor has reset and we have more available. Yeah, replayability is... I'm very much into the Division titles. I played Division 1, and it was very replayable. Then I got into Division 2, which oddly enough, it was so different from Division 1 that it's sort of made Division 1 look a little cartoony, and I haven't been back since, but Division 2 for me has a lot of replayability. Oh, that's perfect. We've got barely anything left in the tank. Fantastic. Turn the pump off, fold that. Come off field guidance. And when you see, you know, this long afterwards, concurrent players, or Truck Sim. Truck Sim has an unbelievable concurrent player base in Steam. For an 8-year-old game that I love it, but it's not the best looking game. It's got a huge player base. It's almost like infinitely replayable. Farm Sim is very replayable. But I do wonder, Um, yeah, Overcord. It's. I mean, this is. I think this is the original map. I think this is like the test map. Now, I've had people say this is very accurate to Germany and some parts of France, and the game. Well, the whole game seems to be built on accuracy, so that wouldn't surprise me that the map is accurate as well. But it's not. I have to say, not the most visually compelling or aesthetically pleasing map. It may be accurate, but it's just a map. And again, whether Master Brain Bytes ever intended to compete with the Farming Simulator franchise, they had to realize that they would be. Whether they wanted to or not, they had to know that they would be. And when you think about things like, set the break here. I mean, the best map that I've ever seen for. Oh, interesting. Where's our guy? I think our guy is coming back up one more time and then we're dry. Okay. So we will. Let me pull around here out of the way. We'll wait for Klaus to come up and unload. Then we'll refill one more time as much as we can. We'll go spray and then we'll sleep through the night and see if we have more Bull Slurry available. Master Brain Bytes had to know they would be competing against the Farm Simulator franchise. And when you think about the quality of the maps that are available for the Farming Simulator franchise, that's going to be, for better or for worse, that's going to be the benchmark that people measure Cattle and Crops maps against. It might not be fair, it might not be accurate, but that's life, that's a fact, and that's how it's going to work out. So again, limited resources. Who knows how they allocated their time or their resources, but maybe in hindsight, focusing more on having 2 or 3 maps would have been the smart way to go. Unknown. Speculation. Skyrim, yeah. Look at a title like World of Warcraft, or what's the looter shooter? I always forget the name of it. It's got an odd name. I got to look it up now. Hang on, let me grab my phone while we're waiting for our guy. Let me look it up. As soon as I say it, it's going to be ridiculous. Moment, please. Destiny 2. I know people that, not personally, but I know of people that from the first time they played Destiny 2, they were like, yeah, nope, I'm good. I'm done now. I don't need any other games. And they've just been playing Destiny 2 ever since. So there are games that are very replayable. And now there are, in fairness, there are other titles that I sort of play out. I'll play them for maybe 15 or 20 hours in a month and then step away from them for a few months and come back. Or play through a DLC and then come back when the next DLC drops. So there's a lot of ways to do it. But if you're going to make a game that is just perfectly, infinitely replayable, you either need to be very, very talented or very, very lucky. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Overcord. I think there are, at any given moment, I feel like there is an extraordinary map that I've never played at all. I still have people point maps out to me and say, well, have you ever played, or did you like, right? And they name a map. I say, I've never even heard of it. And I'd like to think, I've got, I'd say over 1,000 hours in FS17. I would like to think that I'm an avid player, right? I've spent enough time with that sim, and there are still things that can surprise me about it. So there are definitely plenty of maps. But again, that comes from the mod community, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where mod support at the moment for Cattle and Crops is a bit lacking. yeah, it's, I don't know, balance in anything. And I do think of game design as an art form, and certainly modding is an art form. When I look at something like the Western Shore, that to me that's art. So there is a balance, a perfect balance that you can land on. And there's music, there are albums in history that a group of musicians got together and made something that is so extraordinary. Not only is it extraordinary like over decades of time, but even those musicians themselves were never able to do anything that amazing again. They got, I don't want to say lucky, but everything just aligned. And I think the same thing can happen in gaming, where a studio just nails it, and their next offering in the franchise, even though it's the same company, nobody likes it. And you have to ask yourself, like, well, how is a studio and a design crew that could make a legendary game, how does that same crew flop when they try to make the sequel? Yeah, it happens with movies. It just happens. I really do think video games can be almost like lightning in a bottle, where a developer just gets lucky. They just get it right, but they're never able to capture that magic again. And I can think of half a dozen titles that I could play indefinitely. If you told me you can only have 4 video games ever, what would they be? FS17, Project Cars 2, ETS 2, and let me think a little harder on number 4. But they're just incredibly well balanced games. They just work. And I think our guy is just about done here. Let's see where we're at. It says he's done. There's nothing else going into the tank. Is he done? Hang on. Let's take a look here. Tasks. It says in progress, but there's nothing else going into the tank. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's stopped. So we need to get rid of him. But you know what, Fried? How often does Rockstar release games? That's the amazing thing about that studio, is they don't release many games, and they really put time and money. GTA 6 was 200 million. They're what? 200 million they're forecasting for GTA 6. Oh, no worries, Overcord. I want to do ETS 2 tomorrow. Hang on, let's get rid of this guy. I want to do ETS 2 tomorrow, and then maybe take Friday and Saturday off. Don't know yet. So we want to go here. We want to go here. Tasks. Delete that. Right? And he's gone now, so we can get this thing out of the way. All right, Overcord. Take care, my friend. See you soon. So come right over here. Park this thing up. Turn that off. I think GTA 5 is the most profitable. It's the most profitable franchise. It's the most profitable title. Yeah, I don't have the numbers at my fingertips, but I want to say GTA 5 has made like $5 billion on a $150 million investment. So I think at that point, if you're Rockstar, you can spend 3 years working on Red Dead 2. You can spend however many years it takes on GTA 6, because it'll be an absolutely legendary title when it drops. But they've got that budget. right? They've got that money. And I think we all know from experience. I think this is going to be 24,000. Yeah. I think we all know from experience that money fixes a lot of problems. You know, anytime I hear somebody say, well, you can't just throw money at the problem, why not? That's how problems get solved. I have no patience with that expression. Don't just throw money at the problem. Yeah, yeah, throw money at it. So Rockstar can do that, but other studios can't. Yeah, GTA is it's absolutely like a cultural phenomena. It's extraordinary. The number of copies of that game that have been sold, and the fact that all these years later you can still just hop in that game, and depending on what's dropped since the last time you played it, it can feel like you're playing a whole new game. It can feel like you've never played it before. You can play it different ways, and whoa, and if for some reason you do get played out on GTA 5, you can throw in the big cop mod and replay the entire game again from the other side. So yeah, it's that is a title beyond a title. That is Miss Pac-Man. Yeah, it's that's the kind of title that people that don't know anything about gaming have a basic understanding of GTA 5. Now that can sometimes cut both ways, because I know I will occasionally somebody will start to get a little bit fired up about violent games when I mention that I'm into gaming. They'll start to get fired up about violent games, and you try to tell them like, whoa, 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 easy, easy. We farm, we drive trucks, we fly airplanes. It's not all Grand Theft Auto. To a lot of people, Grand Theft Auto is the only type of gaming there is because it's the one they've heard of. All right, so let's get this unfolded. I think we've got 1.5 more passes. Where's our tracks here? Yep, we've got 1.5 more passes, and then we will sleep through the night. We may, yeah, we've been going just about 2 hours, so we may call it here. It's been kind of an odd stream today. I think with the holidays coming up. All right, so we want that there. That is unfolded. Turn that on. Wait, what? That's not what I wanted. All right. Try this again. That on. Lower. And we're spraying. Okay. I'm betting, if I were betting, I'm betting that the Harbor Bull Slurry dealer recycles in midnight. We will have to lease this equipment again, but it's okay. We're figuring things out. And we're at like 10,000, 11,000 per length. So we'll get 1.5 here. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's sleep through the night. Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and I don't really celebrate holidays. I don't have any family, so I don't really celebrate holidays. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but it's just a Thursday to me. All right. So we'll get flipped around. Yeah, let's just use up the rest of what's here. The rest of what we have in the tank. We'll get half a row in, and then we can just pick up from tomorrow. The the field guidance will all stay good. Everything will stay the correct settings. Okay, so we lift that, turn that off. How do we want to do this? Back up around here. Around this way. I don't want to hook that tree, so let's pull forward this way. 2 more lengths. This one and then 2 more beside it. So we got pretty close. You know what we could do? I just thought of something. So let's do this. We'll drain off what's in here. Right? So that. Lower. Spray. Here we go. I am looking at Black Friday deals. Man, I would love to get a... I'd love to get a new gaming PC. I just got the one that I'm on, and I want another one already. I'd like to get a triple monitor set up. There's always something to get. All right, so we'll drain off what's in here. And then we will pull up to the farm, sleep through the night. Everything that we've leased will disappear. And we'll have to see if the... Now, how are we going to check that? I know how we'll do it. I know how we'll do it. Okay. So we come off there. Let's get rid of this. We're going to have to cheese a little bit, but not too badly. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to the farm. We're going to sleep through the night. All this equipment is going to disappear. The only way we can see what volume is available at the harbor slurry trader is to go down there with the tanker. So we're going to do a save game. We're going to lease one. If there is bull slurry at the trader, if it's refilled at midnight, then we'll keep that and we'll pick up their next stream. If there's not, then I'll just quit out of that without saving. And we won't have that $2,500 for the lease. Does that make sense? I think that made sense. All right. So we'll go right over here. And right over here, I'm just going to pull up right here. All right. Brake. Engine. Let's get out of here. All right. And it's noon, so we want to sleep, what, 9 hours? No, 19 hours. Math. All right, we want to sleep 19 hours. All right. And I don't think there's any way to see it here. Yeah, we don't see a volume here. Tank trader. Yeah, these are our tanks. And then for the traders, it just has the price. It doesn't have the volume. So let's do this. Let's go here. We're going to save game. Okay. And we're going to hop in here, drive down, lease a tanker, drive over to the harbor, see what's available. If it's refilled, we'll end this stream, pick up from there next time. If it has not refilled, I don't know. Plan B. Always plan B. All right, here we go. And I did see, I think the Black Friday sales are starting on Steam tonight. And in fact, because it was supposed to be 7 UTC, which is like 2 or 3 in the afternoon for me. So I think by the time, because I started at 1 p.m. my time, I think by the time I'm done with the stream, when I go back into Steam, everything will be on sale. So let me see. Let me see what I can get into. You know what I'd really like to bring to the channel is Fernbus. But I've had so many problems with that title. I bought it twice and refunded it both times because I was getting just terrible Unreal crashes, which I think are because I have too many things plugged in. Yeah, I think it may have started while I was streaming. Oh, perfect. There was a save game, so that means we have a full 30 minutes until it saves again. If the Harbor Trader does not have Slurry, we'll just quit out of this without saving, and we'll be good to go. Okay. Yeah, kind of a different stream today. Take a little bit of a risk right through there. Kind of a little bit of a different stream today, but I don't know. Everything's been so weird in the world. It's 2020, man. 2020 has been a hell of a year. All right, so we go here. We go here. Dealer. At least one of these. I really want to love Fernbus. Fernbus is like a lot of titles for me. I want to love it. Let me love you. Let's go 12 hours in case we do need it. If we do not, then we'll just, like I said, quit out of the title. All right. Right back up in here. Hook that up. First person, here we go. The only thing that I would like to see optional about Fernbus is getting the passengers on board and getting the doors open and getting the luggage loaded, right? Like the doors under the bus where you store the bags. I could do without that. I think a lot of games could go back and make things optional. I know that the devs tend to look at that like, no, that's part of the experience. You have to do that because a real bus driver would have to do that, or, right? The way that we're applying fertilizer, you can put it off on a worker, but you still have to do it. You know, I get that you don't want to take too many steps out of a simulation because then it's not a simulation anymore. But at the same time, not everybody likes the game the same way. Yeah, I've had hardware problems. I think it's because I have, like, at any given moment, I have like 7 USB controllers plugged in. I've got my wheel, flight sticks, game pads, G13, a gaming keyboard. I've got a lot of control devices plugged in, and I know Unreal can be sometimes not okay with that. So, yeah, that could be what causes it to crash pretty consistently. But I am not going to unplug USB peripherals to play a game. Not in 2020. I expect developers to have that sorted out before they release a title. All right, let's see where we're at. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Oh, I just saw a screen over there. Hang on. Let's set the brake before we hop out. Brake is on. All right. I just saw a screen over there. I've never seen this before. Oh, all right. That's a fertilizer calculator. Controls don't work for you? Yeah, it's strange for me because I use gamepad for so many of these titles rather than a wheel. I'm just really used to, the only thing that I use a wheel for is race sim, but like truck sim and farm sim, I use gamepad. Yeah, I think this tank is dry, so we don't have enough bull slurry to finish. You know what? I'm going to try one more thing. And that is... Hang on, let me back up out of the trigger. I'm going to try one more thing, and that is 24-hour cycle. that it refills 24 hours after we started taking out of it. I don't think that's likely. But if not, I mean, we got 150,000 liters of bull slurry. I mean, where do you go from there, right? Once you've used it, when does it replenish? So let's go, oh, we don't need to go there. We go here. It is 7 a.m. Let's go to noon. Let's go to noon and see if it's refilled. And if it's not, we'll just quit out of this title and come back next time. All right. Yeah, I don't know when this refills. I really don't. And we don't need booms on here to fill this thing, do we? I don't think we do. Nope, that's dry. That's dry. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. And I will, I don't know. I don't know. Cattle and Crop's been kind of kicking my ass the past couple days, but so it goes. That's gaming. All right, thanks, everybody. If you're in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay 6 feet apart. Be safe. And I'll catch up with you. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow because it is the holiday, but maybe I will. I know a lot of you are overseas. So if we go tomorrow, we'll do Euro Truck. And if not, we'll do Euro Truck on Friday. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. See you next time. Take care.